As we await for the next domino to fall in the Blue Jays offseason, trade rumors are running rampant. So we'll break down what we've been seeing on this episode of Jays Digest. What's up, Jays fans? I'm your host, Peter Vryonis, alongside co-host Nick Gosse. Got a lot to get into today. First, want to thank you all for the support. It's been unreal, and we couldn't be here without you guys. So I think 5K is the goal by Christmas time, and I think it's doable. It's attainable.
Yeah, I think it's definitely attainable. Quick reminder, 83.6% of you guys who are watching are not subscribed. So if you enjoy the daily content, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Let's get into the video. We'll get into the first report here. Let's get right into it. There's a few Alejandro Kirk trade reports and rumors that have come out. This one is St. Louis Cardinals sent outfielder Lars Nootbaar and right-hander Michael McGreevy to the Jays for Kirk. Cardinals president of baseball operations has made it clear acquiring a catcher is a top priority. He has not had to search for a starting catcher in 2 decades, so he's in uncharted waters as he looks to lock down a replacement for Yadi Molina. And then he goes on to say, this is Bowden's verdict of the trade. I think the Cardinals will value game calling, pitch framing, and leadership ability. As much as I love Kirk's bat, I think St. Louis would prefer a better defensive catcher, and it's probably time to let Moreno be the full-time catcher with Kirk as his backup or most of the time DH. Therefore, I think Jansen is more likely to be moved. Now, what are your thoughts? I'll pop it up one more time on this trade here. We've talked about Lars a little bit, but Kirk for Nootbaar and a pretty good prospect in McGreevy.
Well, I don't know how advanced these talks are, or if there are any talks between the Cards and the Blue Jays. They've been rumored earlier in the offseason. Those rumors have kind of died down a little bit, so that's the first time I'm seeing them reappear. But I thought Jansen would be the one to go. I mean, that's been the rumor going around town pretty lately. So I don't know if this is really realistic. I don't know if the value matches up. I know you love Lars Nootbaar. I think he's a tantalizing prospect, but a lot of people forget that Kirk is only 24 years old. So he's done a lot in his major league career. Although it's been short, he's been hitting when he's been in the major leagues ever since. So I don't know if the value matches up. The Cards definitely need to make a play for a catcher here. So this works out for them, and we need a left-handed hitting outfielder. So this works for us. But is Lars Nootbaar at this present moment in time worth as much as Alejandro Kirk, who plays a premium position? I don't think so. Although I do like Lars Nootbaar, and I like his peripherals, and I like what he could bring to this Jays lineup.
Yeah, I kind of agree with what you said about the Jansen thing, and like Bowden said, the analyst there, he thinks Jansen, who has 2 years of team control, is the one Toronto should move. So I don't know. It's going to be very interesting. Lars, I do love Lars Nootbaar. He, like you said, tantalizing prospect, a lot of peripherals that, could be really well. And it's funny because Cardinals fans in their comment section of videos where we bring them up, they value Lars Nootbaar really high, and then we seem to value Kirk really high. So it's
well, that's the thing. That's the thing. Every fan base tends to overvalue their players. I mean, Kirk's got a special place in my heart. I really like him as a catcher. I think he's a great clubhouse presence and just like a solid overall dude to have on your team, and a pretty damn good player too. So I don't know. It's going to be hard to see one of our catchers go because they're all so good and they all play such vital roles. But we got to part ways with one of them because there are other areas that needs to be addressed on the team.
Yeah, I agree. And if you're any Cardinals fans and watching the video now, let us know what you think of that trade. I know you guys are really high on Lars, and we like Lars too. But obviously Kirk is unreal, and I think Jansen is more likely to be traded anyways. But let's get into the second trade now, which is, this one's very interesting. Have not seen it around very much, which is why we wanted to bring it up here. It's Chicago White Sox send Liam Hendriks, Gavin Sheets, and Yolqui Cespedes, hopefully I pronounced that right, and $10 million to the Blue Jays for Alejandro Kirk. And they basically go on to say that, if Bowden says, if I'm rejecting the trade from the Blue Jays, I have 4 years of control of Kirk compared to 2 of Hendricks, and we all know the risks that come with closers from year to year. Also, I like Cespedes' tools, but I'm not sure how much he's going to hit. I know Kirk is going to hit and get on base. So that's interesting. This trade is, I'll just get your opinions on the trade. I'll pop it up one more time.
Okay, I like this, and I'll give a few reasons why. Yoelqui Cespedes is one of the top prospects for the White Sox, and Gavin Sheets is a left-handed hitting outfielder who showed a bit of power. I don't know if I could pop up his stats in time here, but I know just off the top of my head that he hits for a ton of power. And $10 million to the Blue Jays? I mean, that's kind of weird. I've never seen that in any specific trade proposals that we've talked about on this channel, but this is one trade that I would honestly be okay with. And a Liam Hendriks reunion with the Blue Jays, he was pretty solid with the Jays. Then he became an elite closer once he got to Oakland. So I kind of like this. I don't know. I'm leaning more towards this trade as opposed to the Lars Nootbaar trade because I don't think Yoelqui Cespedes is too far away from the major leagues. He was one of the top prospects. He still is. And Gavin Sheets, I mean, he can contribute right now. And Liam Hendriks dresses another key piece in the bullpen. So I'm leaning more towards this trade than the Newt Bar one, and it's a little more complex. I haven't seen that one anywhere.
Yeah, I haven't seen it anywhere either, which is why I wanted to bring it up. And yeah, I agree. I like this one a lot. You address Hendricks at his best is one of the best closers in baseball. Would he take Romano's
Yeah.
spot? Who knows? But that's a good problem to have. You get a bullpen piece and you get two outfielders. And like you said, you talked about all the prospect stuff. They're very good as well. And then I'd wonder if maybe they get. Would that take us out of the running of Cody Bellinger? No, it would not. Like we'd still go for one of the top prospects in or top free agents. But you'd also have a couple young stars ready to come up. And like I said, I'll pop up Bowden's thing one more time. He says he's rejecting the trade if I'm the Blue Jays, which is interesting. And his main reason is comparing the 4 years of Kirk's control to 2 years of Hendricks. And like you said, he likes Cespedes as a tool, but he's not sure how much he's going to hit. I'm not too worried about. Obviously, Kirk has 2 more years than Hendricks, so I'm not too worried about Hendricks' control. I mean, he's played here before. He likes it here, and I don't know. It's I would love to see a Hendricks reunion.
Yeah, I have Gavin Sheets' stats here. So he's not a center fielder, so that doesn't push George Springer to right field, which I kind of I knew that already. He hit 15 home runs in 377 at bats. So that's an abbreviated season there. He showed some power. Doesn't walk much, but he is a left-handed hitting outfielder and can play either corner outfield, can play some first base as well. So when Vladdy needs to DH a day, he can help him out there. And Yoelqui Cespedes, I'll pop up his stats here. So bear with me. And we all know what Alejandro Kirk can do. We all know that he's a great hitter, and we all know what Liam Hendriks can do. He's one of the top relievers, like you said. So yeah, he's in Double A. Yoelqui Cespedes. He's struggled a little bit at the plate, but he's got some power, and he plays an unbelievable center field. So that's a tantalizing prospect that would be coming our way. But like I said, I'm leaning more towards this trade, and it's something to look at if you're the Blue Jays. I don't know if they accept it straight up, but it's definitely some value coming back their way.
Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting. We'll keep an eye on this package and maybe make another follow-up video if it gets into the later stages, analyzing the people we get back more. I have one last trade for you guys today, which is another Alejandro Kirk trade, focusing on him because we talked about Danny Jansen in the past couple videos. This is Kirk gets, or the Cardinals get Alejandro Kirk, the Blue Jays get Nolan Gorman, and the Cardinals' 22nd prospect. And basically goes on to say, if that seems like an overpay for Kirk, or if the Blue Jays would prefer to keep Kirk, then clubs could still match up on a deal for Gabby Moreno or Jensen, or perhaps there's a deal to be swung with Lars Nootbaar like we described earlier. The bottom line is these two teams can fill each other's needs one way or another, and I'll pop up the trade one last time. Kirk for Nolan Gorman and Freddie Pacheco, Cardinals' 22nd prospects. So what are your thoughts on that one there? Gorman is another interesting player.
Yeah, Gorman's another interesting guy. In just 283 at bats, he had 14 home runs. He flashed a lot of power, and we actually saw him play against the Jays this past season. I mean, the Jays and the Cardinals had a couple of home and away series, so he can play second base, he can DH, he can probably play some third base as well. So he's pretty versatile all around the infield, and he's got a very violent swing. Like this is a guy that has like 40 home run potential at second base, which is pretty scary. If you're bringing in a guy like that, I mean, it's very interesting to see. But Kirk is proven, so I don't know. I'd like to see a bit more coming our way. We may be overvaluing him once again. I may be saying, oh, we need more for Kirk, but the value might match up equally. I don't know. I think he's a very interesting prospect, but right now we need proven players for this World Series run that we're looking to get on. So I don't know if I want to trade my all MLB catcher for like a guy that still needs a couple years.
Yeah, well, yeah. A couple years till he's probably to the point where he would be a very good contributor. Now, Cardinals fans
Yeah.
out there are probably going to be yelling in the comments because he's obviously a really strong, I guess, prospect for them. He played 1 year. He has the tools to be great. Obviously, it's hard to judge now because obviously we're huge Kirk fans, and you guys will be Cardinals fans will be all. So I don't know. I feel like a trade with the Cardinals might be coming though. It makes so much sense, and they have so many pieces that they could send our way. It just depends how much Ross Atkins values. And I'll pop up this one more time. He talks about how it could be an overpay for Kirk from the Cardinals side, which I guess, again, it completely depends how much you value Gorman. But Gorman definitely has potential to be a stud and be a star. But Kirk already is a star. So it all depends. But we're also getting their 22nd prospect. And maybe if we get Gorman, we move Espinal to get another, like, 5th inning bullpen guy or something like that. So I don't know. It's a very interesting thing. And dominoes, hopefully the dominoes start to fall soon because it's been kind of dead here recently.
Yeah, it's been dead all around the MLB, and the Jays were the first one to make a big move, and I
Yeah.
think they're coming up with, they got something up their sleeves. So stay tuned.
Yeah, it's going to be unbelievable. And thank you guys for the support. It's been unbelievable. We'll have another video tomorrow, so we'll see you then.